In this video, I'm interviewing Dylan, who went from 0 to 10K in less than 3 months with his agency at 18 years old. So in this video, we're going to be discussing sales, how to get your first client, and really how to scale up so quickly, because at the end of the day, anyone can do this. He's 18 years old. He went from 0 to 10K. So I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just jump right into it, and make sure to stay till the end because it is an absolute banger. Dylan, welcome to the channel. Really appreciate you jumping on. I've done a brief introduction before, but I'd love to hand the mic straight to you and introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah, so my name's Dylan. I'm 19. I started a lead gen agency a couple months back, and I have like 5 clients now, and I'm doing about 10K monthly revenue, and yeah, that's
fantastic, man. 10K, 19 years old. How does it feel?
I mean, I expected it to be more of a, change, but I don't think anything's changed really.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's kind of you have to live the lifestyle of someone who is at that level in order to reach that level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely is one of those things that you put it on such a pedestal, but then once you hit that goal, you're like, huh, that's it, really?
Yeah, it's kind of underwhelming. So
yeah, it is very underwhelming. You like work so hard to get there, and then you're like, yes, I'm nearly there, and then you achieve it, and you're like, huh, okay, it's not as exciting because
nothing's changed. Like
yeah, nothing's changed. Yeah, but it's something that you definitely have to experience for yourself, because I mean, I know when I first hit it, it was the same thing. I was like, oh, that's that's BS, it's going to be the best feeling ever, but it's really not. So yeah, it's a funny thing. So whereabouts are you based?
I'm based in Malaysia, so it's a country right between Thailand and Singapore. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it's different, right? Like most people are usually based in the US, the UK, Australia, more Western countries, right? Like you're definitely the first student inside the academy based in Malaysia. I don't really have too many students based in Asia. Anyway, so I think there's a big opportunity, right? But I'd like to dive into, your agency, how you sort of got started, because you've gone from 0 to 10K in, I believe, 2 to 3 months. I think maybe 3 months. It's been about 3 months now. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, so from signing my first client to now, it's about 2-3 months.
Yeah. So that's awesome, man. So I'd like to take it back, like 19, like what even got you into SMMA?
Also, I was kind of going down the conventional route. So like I was planning to go to college or like university, but I just felt like that wasn't for me. So like I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to build something, essentially like escape the matrix, as they call it, like, yeah. So a lot of people know that term now.
Of course.
But yeah, basically trying to do my own thing, be free. Because I've seen like so many people go down the conventional route and they're just not happy, like they're not enjoying life, they're kind of miserable. And so I said like, okay, shit, I don't want to be like that kind of person, So yeah, that's what kind of got me into entrepreneurship in general. And then obviously I found agency academy. I joined that, and I just kept improving myself, and eventually here I am. So
yeah, because I remember like you even said when you joined, you were like, I'm going to hit 10K in, like, I think you said 5 months. I think you said,
I think I said 5-6 months.
5-6 months. That was your goal, right? Like you said, I'm gonna hit 10K in 5 or 6 months. Watch me do it. I'm like, sweet, let's go. You can definitely do it, and you've done it in like 2.5-3 months, which is awesome, half the time. Yeah, so tell me, like, what sort of are the key things that you focused on to hit that 10K so quickly?
Yeah, so there are definitely a lot of distractions along the way, like in business in general. So I try to focus on the things that really matter, the tasks that would, so basically like the 80-20 rule, like, you know, 20% of what you do that result in 80% of the outcome. So
Yeah,
I've been mainly focusing on obviously getting more clients, but then also retaining them and actually delivering results. So it's basically client acquisition and service delivery. Like those are the two main things to run an agency.
100%.
Not like, not so like, oh, I got to do onboarding. Like
Yeah.
those are like, those are tasks, but they are lower priority.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not going to move the needle forward, right? So
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So when it comes to sales and when it comes to client acquisition, how much time have you sort of been spending with? So how much time have you actually been spending on outreach and, you know, the sales side of things each day? Like I just roughly, I just want to sort of get your perspective because, you know, I think the audience don't realize how much time you actually need to spend doing this.
Yeah, so initially when I just first started, like no clients, no results, obviously that like you're gonna have to put a lot of time into, you know, outreach, creating your offer,
Yeah.
sales. But then as you get that first, second, third client and you start scaling up, you get some cash flow. You can basically automate your outreach with like
Yeah.
ads or paid VAs. And
Yeah.
so I've been, yeah, initially I'd say pretty much like every hour I was available, I try to do outreach.
Yeah.
But then as time went on, I signed a few clients. I've kind of, you know, put that at the side for a moment. So
Of course, because you know you're going. You mentioned to me earlier, just off camera, you're going to be launching paid ads, you know, in the next couple of days, which is awesome. So, how many VAs do you have doing outreach for you at the moment?
uh, right now I have none.
None. It's just you.
It's just me. Like
Just you. Okay. And how many sort of pieces of outreach are you sending per day?
right now or when I first started?
Let's go with right now.
Right now, I'd say like it's really bad. It's like 50 or less.
Okay, okay, but I mean, it's still more than a lot of other people. And when you got started, like how many sort of pieces of outreach on
Oh,
average?
initially when I didn't have like any clients, obviously I had more time because I didn't have to do the service delivery or like onboarding
Yeah,
or, you know, check in with clients. So I was doing like 200
yeah.
200 outreach
And this is what
a
it
day.
takes, right? But
Yeah,
I just don't think a lot of people are willing to put in that work. You know, it's just,
yeah.
what do you want more? Do you want to do 200 pieces of outreach and spend hours doing that, or you know, do you just want to keep working your 9 to 5 and that's that, right? You've got to, there is a trade-off and you've just got to figure out which one is more important to you. What
Right.
sort of outreach were you doing? Like, did you focus on cold calls? Did you do a mix, DMs? Like, what were you sort of doing?
So I tried cold calling, didn't really have much success from cold calls, mainly because of like gatekeepers and stuff. So instead, I did mostly cold DMs actually, which
Okay.
I know a lot of people are like a big fan of cold calling. Like a lot of people preach like cold calling, like that's best. But honestly, it depends on the niche, right?
Yeah,
Some niches cold calling, yeah, I think most niches cold calling would be better. Uh, maybe even in my niche, but personally, like from my experience, I've obviously you should do your own testing.
yeah,
Uh, there's a bunch of advice out there, but in the end, you have to actually apply it and test it for yourself.
yeah.
Get that data and go from there. So for me, cold DMs were working pretty well,
Yep.
and so I just stuck with that because like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, you know, I'm assuming your message was, you know, just something super simple. Like obviously I talk a lot about that inside the program. We've had conversations on that, like keeping everything just super streamlined, super simple, no big bulky messages, you know, asking questions, trying to get them on a call, and yeah, just seeing if they're a good fit. Because to me, I think people overcomplicate it. Like, I'd love to hear your opinion, but when they get on a sales call, they really think, okay, I need a pitch, I need to sell them, and I need to close them. But to me, it's like, you just got to treat it as a conversation. That's really what it is. You're having a conversation, business owner to business owner, and really just understanding, okay, cool, Dylan, I'm here to help you. What are you struggling with? And then offering a solution to that problem, right? That's really all we're doing. I just think people get inside their own heads and overthink and then overcomplicate it, and they just talk too much instead of asking questions.
Yeah, I think if you have like genuine intention to help them, and you don't use some kind of sleazy tactic or some kind of persona during your sales calls, people definitely can sense that you're trying to help.
Yeah.
You're not just some guy who wants like the quick cash, like sign them up, get them to pay some crazy amount up front, and then you just don't deliver. If you can convey that, you're actually trying to help them, they'll be able to tell you're different from the rest. Because what most people are doing is like, they're just straight up saying like, hey, we can help you with this and that, like putting a lot of sales pressure on the client. So if you're like super chill and laid back and you actually want to help them, that's the best method, like at least in my opinion.
Yeah, you've got to be genuine. I want to take it back for a second, because I remember, like, you've been on the channel briefly before when, obviously you were talking about your advice signing that first client, right? And one of the reasons you joined the program was the community aspect, and you needed that support, right? Because you kind of felt alone. So like your, I guess, some advice or some things that you recommend or some things that you did to sort of get through that and those sort of difficult times.
Community definitely helps, because you see all these people with all these wins, and you're like, it just drives you to take action. There's like a saying, like you're like the average of the 5 people you hang around with, or I probably butchered that, but
no, that's exactly right.
Yeah, basically it applies here, right? If you join a community of people who are like hustling, who really are super like hungry to get that client, or to scale up, get to like a certain amount of revenue per month, you're just naturally gonna be like them. Like, because like humans are social creatures, and that rule definitely applies. So I don't think you should try to do everything like lone wolf. You should definitely find people who are like-minded like you, and they'll help you a long way. So
yeah, awesome. And I mean, service delivery, like, how are you sort of going about that, right? Like, I know before you didn't know anything about running ads or creating campaigns or offers or anything like that. So how have you, I know obviously I go through a lot in the program, and you've obviously got access to me when you need, but how have you been finding the service delivery for your clients while managing the sales process as well, all by yourself?
Initially it was kind of a bit scary to me, because I didn't know what to do, right? Like, I've never run any ads before, but in the end, it's all about, practice, getting that experience. Once you've been running ads for a while, like, what works, what doesn't work. So it's all about practice. There's so much information online. Like, it's about, I'd actually say there's too much information, like, and you have to take the time to really curate like
what's good, what's not.
What's good and what's not. It takes a lot of time and effort to educate yourself in terms of service delivery, but it's all about practice. You have to do it. There's no like book that'll you can read and it'll guarantee you results. Like that's just not true.
No, you just got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to get a client, maybe like some kind of trial or something,
Yeah.
but you just have to, you have to do it. You can't just, you can't just try to formulate your own theories like, oh, okay, this might work, this might not work. Like just do it,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, then you know, and you've learned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people get caught up on, right? Like is they're like, well, I've never done it before, so I don't know. I'm not sure. They're not confident. They don't close deals. They don't sign clients because they don't have that experience. And I always think like, I know you didn't get a free trial. Like you didn't do a free trial to start with. I never did a free trial because I don't think you need to.
No.
But I also think like if you've done 30 sales calls and they're qualified and you haven't closed one of them, it's probably because you're not confident in what you're doing. Maybe you should do a free trial, right? Maybe you should do something for free to get some confidence, to get the results so you can actually sell better, because that comes across, right? If you're not confident on the sales call, then I recommend, yeah, for sure, do a trial, get confident, get some experience under your belt so you can do it, because once you know you can do it, you'll be able to sell effectively and close clients, because most people do want to get results and most people actually do want to deliver, right? So I think that's incredibly important.
Yeah. If like conviction's a real thing, it really shows during the sales calls. Like if you're super confident, you're gonna go in there and the guy across the screen is gonna, like, even if it's not in real life, he'll know like, okay, this guy's the real deal. He's not talking shit. He actually knows what he's doing, and that just builds that trust and confidence. And like it'll just make the sales process so much easier. And you can sign a lot of clients if you really have that conviction in your tone and your body language, whatever. So
yeah, most definitely, man. People can sense it from a mile away, and I think that's a good point that you bring up. Like, I mean, I think you were pretty confident from day one. I mean, some people are, some people aren't. I know for myself, it took a while. Like I wasn't confident to start with, which meant I couldn't close deals, right? But some people just naturally pick it up and get it quicker. You were in that boat, right? Like consuming content, you were a bit all over the place because you consumed a lot of content. You just didn't really exactly know where to start. Like you definitely need to narrow in and focus. And I think once you join the program, it was like, okay, great. Here's the step-by-step process that you need to follow. I don't even know if you went through the whole program. And that's something that I've noticed. The most successful students that I have don't go through the entire program from A to Z. They pinpoint what they need and then they apply it and they take action and then they go back and, they just repeat that process, right? Rather than going through A to Z and then doing it and wasting time.
Yeah, I didn't complete the program.
Exactly.
But my rule of thumb was like, I was going to watch one video and I was going to learn at least one thing and apply that one thing.
Yeah,
like that.
Exactly.
That's how I roll. So yeah,
simple.
I'm not going to binge watch everything and get nothing out of it, right? I'd rather take one step at a time instead of like taking like 5-10 steps and then falling down, tripping over something. So
yeah, 100%, man, 100%. So I mean, I guess where do you want to take the agency from here? Like, what are your sort of plans over the next 3 to 6 months?
Obviously trying to scale. I think I've reached like my capacity because I'm doing everything myself currently. So I'm trying to scale up. I'm trying to build a team. So, and then, just keep growing the agency, helping more people out. And, like I'd say I want to reach maybe like 50K revenue by the end of the year. So
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome, man. Fantastic. So Dylan, I mean, tell me more about like the mindset you kind of had to have to go from 0 to 10K, because I mean, you're earning 6 figures a year now, right? Like that's a big difference. It's a big achievement for someone who's only 19 years old. So what's been that shift for you?
so yeah, initially I never like I wasn't that like confident in myself. It was kind of like a process, you know, I had to build that confidence. I had to build it up. I had to have like a yeah, I really think mindset, even though it's like kind of cliche, like a cliche topic, nobody
Yeah.
really likes to watch this part, but it's like step one, like step zero of everything
Yeah.
that you're gonna build, you know. You without the right mindset, it's like building some like a skyscraper with no foundation.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's super boring, but like it's required to build something great. And I think self-image is something that people really need to improve on. Like
Yeah.
you have to see yourself as the guy who can actually make 10Ks. Like a lot of people, they say like, oh yeah, obviously everyone wants to,
Of course,
you know,
everyone wants it.
everyone wants to earn money, but deep down inside, like a lot of people, they have a lot of doubts, and
Yeah.
they just don't see themselves as like someone who's capable of doing that. They put it on, like you said, put it on a pedestal, uh, like something they will never achieve.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just the wrong way of like doing it. No matter what, if you don't change that self-image, it's really hard to, you know, just to reach that point where you want to be.
Yeah. So Dylan, so tell me, like, how did you sort of start on that mindset journey for yourself, right? Because were you always a confident person? You didn't really have limiting beliefs, or was it something that you've obviously had to work on? And if so, what are some of the things that you've done to shift your mindset?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say I was a super confident person. It was definitely something I had to work on. I had to build my confidence. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be in terms of like confidence as well. Like it's something I think everyone should be working on for life. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'd say it all comes down to practice. You have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, get on calls, you know, get rejected, fail,
Yeah.
humiliated, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna hurt your ego, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But
that's
build
what it takes to.
100%. Like I always say, like if you want to get confident, get on a cold call and get told to F off, get rejected, or
Yeah,
go to your local Starbucks or coffee shop and ask for a 10% discount. Right? They're gonna be like, what? Yeah, like I've done that just to see, and they're like,
yeah,
what?
like
Like,
you're
why are you
crazy.
asking for a discount? Like,
Yeah,
can you not afford a coffee? But it's not about that. Like, you know, it's getting rejected. Or when you go out and you see a beautiful woman, go up to her,
bold approach.
compliment
Yeah,
her, and try to get her number, try to get her Instagram, right? And if you get rejected, that's great. That's fantastic. You know, the more you do these things, the more comfortable and the more confident you become. And then soon
yeah,
you won't care. You'll just be able to approach anyone, say anything. Like I'm in Thailand at the moment, you know, and everyone's hustling here, right? There is no issue with confidence, right? People will come up to you on the street asking you for this, asking you for that, trying to sell you this. And there's no lack of confidence, right? Like for a lot of people, maybe it's survival, but it's also like, this is just what they do every single day. So if you just do it day in and day out, when you get rejected 1,000 times, it won't matter, right? It's like, awesome, on to the next, let's go, you know, and it'll actually get you, you'll actually feel great about it. You know, you'll actually get excited.
yeah. I always think of it as like a video game where you level up your skills. So each time you do something like super uncomfortable, super awkward, and it, you know, you get rejected, that's XP, you know, that's XP for your confidence skills. Because I used to be like a really hardcore gamer, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's basically, yeah, you have to think of it like everything you do, like it has an effect, right?
Yeah.
In your life. You get to choose like what effect it has on you. So actions like that, like, you know, hopping on a sale, like a cold call, or like cold approaching a girl, or, you know, doing all these things that would, you know, you would receive rejection from, that's still like a positive, right?
Yeah.
In the long term, you might not see it as a positive in that moment, but in the long term, it's gonna compound. You're gonna get like
Awesome.
all, yeah, you're gonna get super confident. You just wouldn't care anymore,
No.
right?
And then you become unstoppable.
Yeah, those things, it'll become like so trivial, like you don't even, it's not even important to you. You have like bigger things to care about, you know,
Yeah.
like bigger deals. And
Exactly. You just got to go for the ask. You know, like I've always loved approaching people. Like, you know, if someone's got a nice watch, if someone's got a nice car, I'll always approach them. Hey, you know, how's it going? What do you do for a living? Like, I'll always ask them questions, get to know them a little bit. Like, you know, just up the road here, like here where I am, like you see a lot of nice cars in Thailand, and, you know, approached a young guy, 25. He had a Porsche 911. He's also got a Lamborghini. I'm like, dude, you know, what do you do? We had a conversation. He's like, oh, come for a ride. That wouldn't have happened if I hadn't just approached him and, you know, asked what he did. Right? You got to start those conversations, and the more you do it, the more confident you'll become, and the less rejection you will face.
yeah, I think compounding like really small wins
Yeah.
is really important for confidence as well. Like you don't have to conquer something crazy. Something small is a win, right? If it's a win, it's a win. You take wins, right?
Exactly.
No matter how small they are. You could just go talk to someone you would normally never talk to on the street or something. That's a win, right? And then when you start compounding those wins, you just naturally get to do like bigger and bigger things.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, like what they do is they try to like jump from A to Z straight away, right?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to go through it like slowly and building up those wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you have to, a lot of people, I know they're hustling and stuff. They're probably at home. They don't go out much.
Yeah.
You just have to get out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like just find like something really, really small that you would normally never do.
Yeah.
And then
Do it.
you go do it. That's a win. And then the next time, okay, you do something even more, you know, more awkward, more uncomfortable. And then, you know, that your threshold for like uncomfortable, like discomfort,
Yeah.
it just rises and rises. Eventually, like these small things, they don't even, like you don't even feel it. You don't feel it, and then you just hop on the stuff that's important, like sales calls and stuff, and you just crush it. So
yeah, 100%. Totally agree. So I think that's the big message: is get out of your comfort zone, do things that make you uncomfortable every single day, and put yourself in those positions. You know, it can be something small, asking for a 10% discount at a coffee shop, like whatever it is. Like it doesn't matter. Something that I always like to do, like if I'm feeling not confident, I'll purposely go for the rejection. Anything, it doesn't matter what it is. Like when you're out, like and walking the street, it doesn't matter what it is. Just the purpose is to get rejected, because the more you get rejected, the more you will actually build confidence. If you get rejected, you'll just get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
yeah, if you're scared of like rejection, you'll never face it. You'll never get used to it. So that's like just completely, like you shouldn't be avoiding failures, rejection, because that's actually going to help you in the long run. It might not look like it, but it will actually help you in the long run. Like
Yeah,
you just have to know that. And
yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome, Dylan. We are back, third time lucky. I hope connection was a bit horrible, so we got cut short. But I was really just wanting to wrap everything up. I know you said you were talking about obviously confidence and getting out of your comfort zone. So, you know, I'd like to ask you like some real tips for the people that are just sort of starting out back where you were a few months ago, if you've got some practical tips for them to sort of take to, get their agency off the ground and start signing clients.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. I'd say strive to do things that are uncomfortable, mainly because it'll just benefit you in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually when something's like super uncomfortable, it's the thing that will get you to the next level, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like anything in business or real life, just anything, like each and every day, you can think of it as, gaining XP for your character, just gaining that experience for all these skills that you need to run a successful business. You just have to have that mindset of, okay, I'm gonna gain some experience, or level up my skill here every single day, right? And then eventually it just compounds. Once, like, once a month's passed, you'll see like, oh, I'm like a completely different person, right?
Yeah.
I can jump on cold calls, I can be super confident. I have that conviction. I'm able to convince people that I'm the guy who can do this for them. And yeah, just keep improving, keep leveling up, basically.
Yeah. Awesome, man. I love it. And I mean, we haven't really spoken about offers, but I've talked about it so much. And I know in our last video together, we, discussed it. But I think the biggest thing for me is just keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Have a great offer. Do enough outreach. You will set meetings. And if you've got a good offer, you will sign clients. I think it all comes from confidence and building that confidence, which takes time, right? So yeah, Dylon, look, really appreciate you jumping on. Hopefully we'll talk again once you're at 50K by the end of the year. I think you can definitely, definitely do it. But yeah, really appreciate you jumping on the channel. I'm sure everyone found it super valuable.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man.